Hello, everyone. My name is Ore, and I'm a site reliability engineer here at Deimos. I have had the opportunity to work with automation for quite a bit of time, even though my background is initially in dev. So it was really fun for me to come into the SRE world to realize that I've had that there are opportunities in which we can automate infrastructure, basically, right? And I would say for me that was one of the key things that allowed me to perform the switch from a core dev person into full on site reliability engineering, right? And I think Terraform has played a very big role within that whole setup. But I think today I would want you to hear more from two lovely ladies who will be meeting very soon. One who is working as an intern and is currently working and shadowing a lot of our full-time engineers here, while the other who is a full-time engineer and also will be giving us a quick demo just to show us what her day-to-day work is like and how we are using Terraform within within environments for various clients, right? But for today, I think we will just focus just on one of our clients because I believe the story behind that client is a bit unique, just because of the fact that one, they're a crypto organization, two, they're a team of very young, very vibrant guys, and also they are a truly African story, so to speak, right? So the company is called Patricia, and they have been in the crypto space for a while, and they offer a range of services basically. And when they initially came to us, it was more with regards to some of the key problems they were having because most of the automation and deployment was done via the GUI, right? So for us, it was a really fun project, although very challenging, right? But I wouldn't want to go too much into details because you'll be getting more information from the eyes of one of the major engineers that was a part of the project along with me. But before I go on, I just want to speak a bit about the internship program because for most of this, or for both of these ladies, this is where their stories begin, to be honest. So for us in Deimos, we've always looked for opportunities to be able to impact our immediate environment and looking for partnerships that would help us solve problems, basically, right? And I think our partnership basically with SheCode Africa was one that I feel personally is solving a problem as much as we can, right? So basically what we do is we are a part of the SheCode Africa bootcamp, whereby women, girls from and within Africa come to learn or gain technical skills, basically. And obviously that means that most of them come from either other careers and decide to do the switch or take the very bold step to jump into the tech world, or most of them come straight out of school, right? So two of the ladies we'll be meeting very soon have very different stories, but I think it's worth highlighting just to generally show how much of an impact and how much change basically Terraform is having with regards to engineers across various experience levels, right? And for me, I also had the opportunity to be a part of that bootcamp and design the site reliability engineer or parts of the site reliability engineering curriculum where we're able to really break things down from them and explain the history of infrastructure, the reason behind infrastructure automation. And I would say it was a really fun time because it also helped me relearn a lot of things that either I didn't fully know and had to learn, or I was reliving those experiences of my days of when I also just started my site reliability engineering journey. We currently run internship programs every 6 months where we have the unique opportunity to bring on candidates who had little to no experience in the tech industry and have enrolled in a bootcamp currently run by SheCode Africa, which is one of the leading female-owned and led tech communities in Africa. They are basically a non-profit organization focused on celebrating and empowering young girls and women in tech across Africa, and also empowering women who are interested in the tech industry but are uncertain of where to begin. So some of the key things they try to accomplish is reach and empower more women in tech at the grassroots level in countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Uganda, Egypt, and many other African countries soon to come. They also train women across technical fields and pair them with industry experts. They create a safe community for women and girls in STEM to connect and learn from one another. They also build and invest in their network of community builders through their chapter program. And finally, they try to empower women by providing free learning resources to mitigate their learning barriers. So basically, the ladies will be enrolled in this boot camp for a few weeks, and they would have typical technical parts that they will have to follow, either something related to software engineering or something related to site reliability engineering. I had the opportunity to design the site reliability engineering curriculum, and as a part of that, we were able to use Terraform to highlight the strength of automation. So after the bootcamp is complete, we then select the 4 top candidates to take their experience and understanding of the theory and apply that to real life scenarios with hands-on projects for them to work on.
Hi, my name is Zim. I'm an SRE intern at Deimos, and I must say my journey has been far from conventional. So backstory, I originally have a background in health. I was a practicing dentist when I made the decision to make a career switch a few years ago. I wanted to break into the tech industry, and I wanted to be a part of it on a technical level. So of course I had my work cut out for me. I had to get to work, learning and gaining the necessary skills that I would need. My path here now was a bit slow-paced. I spent quite a length of time learning about computer programming and software development, using online courses, mentorship programs, etc. Now, fast forward to last year, I got accepted into the SheCode Africa Cloud School Bootcamp, an initiative driven by Deimos in conjunction with SheCode Africa. SheCode Africa is a non-governmental organization that aims for an Africa where women are, equally represented across all career roles in technology. And they've also had a big impact in my growth from day one. Now back to the bootcamp, the aim of the bootcamp was to enable us to gain a high-level understanding of how DevOps SRE helps organizations develop products with greater speed and efficiency. And so there were a number of concepts and tools that we had to learn about. And considering my strong desire to learn, I felt like a kid walking into Charlie's chocolate factory. I was so excited about all we had to know and all the tools we had to learn about and learn to use. I wanted to use them all. I wanted to know them all. And it was during the bootcamp that I got introduced to Terraform as an infrastructure as code tool. And the thing that I love about Terraform is how easy it is to get started working with it. The learning curve is pretty beginner friendly. And so I went on to utilize Terraform in my final project at the bootcamp to provision infrastructure and deploy a 3-tier application onto a public cloud provider. I must have done something right because that got me into the Deimos SRE internship. So far at my internship, my learning has expanded exponentially. I've taken my learning further and I've gone on to implement GitOps via Terraform using a GitOps-based continuous delivery tool. I deployed a microservices application onto a managed Kubernetes cluster on a public cloud provider. Of course, it wasn't a walk in the park for me while executing this task because, I was going beyond just getting my feet wet. I was venturing further out into the water. But Deimos, being the amazing place that it is, there's an always open channel between interns and the more experienced engineers. So working on more advanced tasks doesn't feel, it feels more like being eased into the water as opposed to being thrown into the deep end. And I'm really grateful for that. I still have a bit more time on my internship. So I look forward to yet more growth. But ultimately, my goal is to grow into a full-time SRE engineer with more opportunities to play around with Terraform and just continue to have fun playing with automation.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Labake and I am a site reliability engineer at Deimos. In my past, I'd worked as a software engineer, and one of the things I enjoyed then was watching my build pass or my pipeline go green. It was always very exciting for me, and I was open to the opportunity to transition to a site reliability engineer role. The opportunity came from me through the SheCode Africa Cloud Scope Bootcamp, a partnership program between Deimos and SheCode Africa. The bootcamp curriculum was structured to be introductory to the world of SRE. In the bootcamp, I learned some of the various tools and technologies used as an SRE, one of which was Terraform, an ISC tool used to provision infrastructure in the cloud. As my capstone project, I used Terraform to provision a Kubernetes cluster on GCP and deployed a 3-tier application into the cluster. From these, I experienced some of the things using Terraform solves, such as reusability of code, consistency, as my configuration file will always result in the same infrastructure being created. Also, as a beginner, I was saved from incurring charges from my cloud provider, as I could easily tear down my infrastructure as soon as I am done testing and playing around. I made it to Deimos, being one of the top performers in the bootcamp. At Deimos, I moved from an intern to a junior SRE position, and I have had the opportunity to work with different clients, one of which is Patricia. Patricia is an African tech company that allows millions of people globally to transact using cryptocurrencies in a seamless and secured manner. Patricia was founded in August of 2017 in Nigeria, and have expanded globally to Estonia, Asia, Kenya, Ghana, and South Africa. Patricia have increased their staff count from 2 when they started to over 100 as of now, and their active users from 55 to over 200,000. Patricia is the first crypto company in Africa to issue a crypto debit card. In a moment from now, I'll proceed to do a demo of how we use Terraform in the Patricia project. But before I go on to that, I'd like to share the history of the relationship between the Deimos team and the Patricia team. So the Patricia team had come to the Deimos team to help them resolve some of the performance issues they were experiencing on their then monolith system, and had made the decision to move to the microservices architecture. It was the responsibility of the Deimos team to ensure that this migration was done seamlessly. In order to achieve this, we had to consider cost, speed of deployment, as this was a product that was already on the market, consistency in the infrastructure that was going to be created. This gave me a huge opportunity to work with Terraform to solve varying problems with the rest of my team. I'll now move on to show how our configuration file is and do a simple demo by making a change to our configuration file. I'll go on to share my screen now. So our infrastructure is segregated into 3 different environments. We have the dev environment, the staging environment, and the production environment. We ensure to use Terraform modules, as this allowed us to group families of resources together and have that reused across the different environments that we add with unique configuration per environment. We also ensure to use a remote state for our Terraform state. as this allowed us to all work together as a distributed team without having conflicts in our Terraform state. We also ensured to use Terraform data source. This allowed us to have our sensitive data in our cloud provider secret management and have that data injected whenever it's needed in our Terraform configuration file. We also ensured to name our variables files according to the modules that was using it. This allowed us to have a code that is easily maintainable. Also, we integrated some checks in our Terraform code pipeline, such as Terraform formats. This allows us to format our Terraform code in a canonical way. Terraform also validates the code in the working directory that we were making the changes to. Terraform plan allowed us to see the change in our current state and our desired state. Then Terraform apply would apply the change if we were moving on to apply that. And we also integrated a security check into our pipeline using checkoff. Checkoff allows us to check security and compliance misconfiguration in our Terraform file. So now I'll be making a change to our code by creating a demo namespace named HashiCorp namespace and running the pipeline to show the process. So I'll be adding that, git add, git commit -m HashiCorp namespace, git push origin demo HashiCorp to our remote repository. And yes, this has successfully pushed. I'll be going on to see the pipeline run now. So yes, the pipeline has peaked. The pipeline has the format stage, the validate stage, the plan stage, and the security scan stage. The format stage has passed successfully now, and the validate stage is what is currently running. Like I said, this is going to validate the configuration in our working directory without checking any provider or remote resource. So that is also running. Now after that is our plan stage, which is what I'd like to show, as this would show the difference in the state of our configuration from our current state to the desired state that we had. So our desired state is for us to have a new namespace named HashiCorp. That has also run successfully. That's the validate stage. The plan stage is what is running now. So the plan stage is running now, and it's setting up. So that has run successfully. And if I do a search for HashiCorp here, I can see that a new namespace named HashiCorp is going to be created. And yes, we're good. If we wanted to create this namespace, it will go on to be applied. But now let's move on and check the rest of the pipeline. So the security scan is running, and that should pass now without warning for the purpose of this demo. Yes, that has now passed successfully. Thank you everyone for listening.
So I'm glad you all had the opportunity to meet Zim and Labake, and they were able to show a little bit of some of the work we're able to do using tools like Terraform to help us solve the daily challenges that we face with our clients. And to be honest, we all know that globally, we're only at the beginning of the adoption of the cloud. And this would even be more emphasized within Africa when historically, we've always had issues with our economies and our industries, and most of them are just playing catch up with all the new technologies coming in, right? And this effort will result in better business performance and better consumer experience in almost every industry, ranging from banking to education, and it will ultimately have a large impact on the African economy, right? And the biggest challenge that we will most likely face is the lack of proper education cutting across things like software development, automation, infrastructure management, and applying these best practices, right, to ensure that within the government, within enterprises, and medium to small scale organizations, the shortage of these skills are solved basically, right? And at the end of the day, I think we all need to play a part in this. And we at Deimos, we have chosen to invest in an inclusive talent pipeline that aims to train and empower the next generation of engineers to help African companies adopt the cloud from all this technology and ensure that these companies can take advantage of all that the technology has to offer. And it just happens to be that this is in conjunction with using HashiCorp software products. So we're glad about the suite of products, and we hope to be able to have the opportunity to use more of those services within our customers' environments in the future. I'd like to say a very big thank you to the HashiCorp team, and thank you to the audience for giving us these few minutes to share our story with you guys. And we do hope that this would spark something new with regards to this sort of collaborations in the future. Thank you very much once again, and do enjoy the rest of the event. Cheers.